Hello neighbors, it's Brad here at eTrailer, and today we're taking a look at the Empire Faucets RV kitchen faucet. And this has a pull down spout with dual teacup handle design in a brushed nickel finish. Now, I've recently upgraded faucets in my house, and we went to a pull down spout style like this, and it really is nice. Especially in having a smaller sink like this, you're able to actually get nice and close to the dishes that you're using, and also you're able to select not only just the aerated water coming out, you can press this button, allowing it to have a spray pattern. That way you can kind of use it to scrub those dishes off, and you can get right into the nooks and crannies wherever you need to, and whenever you're done being weighted, it pulls it back into place. Now, the large gooseneck design is really nice because you're able to put larger pots, so if you need to fill up water or even just put your drinking glass, it's right there where you need it to be. And you do want to make sure that you are checking your actual application in your camper, because from the base of our sink to the top is putting us right at about 16.5 inches. So you can see here it's pretty close to our microwave, and it does rotate, no problem. It doesn't make any contact, but if you have something that's hanging a little bit lower above your sink, you do want to measure that before picking this one. Now, our dual teacup handle styles are quarter turn, and they're a washerless design cartridge, so they are going to last quite a bit longer than your standard one. And that way, these aren't wearing down over time. They have less friction, and overall, they feel pretty good. Now, this is a non-metallic ABS construction, so it is not as maybe robust feeling as your standard home faucet, but that's kind of to be expected in an RV. Overall, as far as touch points, but as you kind of move the gooseneck, you can see it doesn't have that weight to make it a nice smooth move, but for functionality's sake, it seems to be awesome. Now, with the pull down spout, we have a fairly shallow sink here. I'm able to touch the bottom, which is going to be great for hosing things out, cleaning dishes. But even if you have a deeper sink, you do have a decent amount of hose length here, so it should work just fine for your deeper sinks as well. Now, the weight that's attached to this can actually be moved a little bit, so you can kind of fine tune it to get that perfect kind of draw back. Ours does a pretty fine job here, so we shouldn't have to worry about that, but you can custom tune that just to kind of make sure that it's going to draw back in every time you let go of it. Now, as far as installation goes, it does come with the deck plate already with it, and it also comes with new keeper nuts. So installation should be pretty simple on a 3-hole design to be able to swap out your old one and get a new one installed within probably 15 minutes or less. And that's a pretty easy, quick way to add a lot more functionality to your RV sink, but also give it a nice look in the process. So whether you're replacing your old one or just updating your camper, this is going to be a great option for you. Speaking of installation, let's go ahead and take a look at how we got it installed. Now we're ready to put our new faucet in, and you're going to see that there is a counterweight here, so that way when you do pull this down, it's going to have that weight to bring it back to its regular position. Now, trying to get this fed in, you're going to see it might be just a little bit too large for the hole that you're going to slide it in. It almost fits through, but actually we can get ours through. But if you need to, there's 2 little Phillips there. You can go ahead, remove those, and then this weight will simply come apart. You'll be able to put it back together once it's under there. It's nice too, they also have this sticker here showing you exactly where it needs to be attached to. That way you have it in the perfect spot. So go ahead, feed this in. Make sure you have it in the proper orientation, like the handle's moving towards you. And then, once you're in place here, we'll simply go ahead, take our keeper nuts, and tighten these down underneath. Something that's nice is they include new keeper nuts, so you can use your new ones or you can use your previous ones that you removed from your other faucet, as they do share the same thread pitch. So go ahead, and we're going to put these on just like we took them off, and I'm going to snug them down to where this is going to kind of stay in place but still be able to move. That way we can find a perfect resting spot for it before tightening it down. So at this point, I have it to where it's not tipping forward at all, but I can still move this around. So I want to go ahead and make sure that any lines that were left previous from our other faucet are covered up, and we also have it centered. So right about here is going to be a good spot. Now, you can also put a little bit of caulk underneath our base plate here, and that way when we tighten it down, it's going to create a nice watertight seal. It doesn't come with that, so you might want to grab your own watertight caulk or sealant that you may use, a plumber's putty, whatever your choice be, and that way you can get water up here and you don't have to worry about it going down. But once we have this all where we want it to be, we'll cinch up those keeper nuts just a little bit more. And just turning it with our hands, that should give it enough pressure to where it's going to be a solid feel. There's no need for tools on this. In fact, it might actually put a little bit too much pressure if you try to use a wrench on these. So with those cranked down, this is in place. So now we can take our water lines and get those hooked up as well. But before we get too far, we have this center section here, and this is just that water line that's going to feed to the top and allow that to actually drop down. So we're going to go ahead, take this, and it simply just clips into that center part. So find that center portion, just pushing up. We have our connection made. Now do make sure that you have everything kind of out of the way of this moving up and down. That way it's not going to hinder it from moving smoothly as you bring down your wand. But also you're going to want to make sure that you're not making contact with your water line. So when you attach this, you're going to want to make sure that it's out of the way. That way it's not rubbing against it. So at this point we can actually attach our water lines. So let's go ahead and do that. We're just going to hand tighten these on. Make sure you have the proper one, whether it be the hot or cold. And we're just going to hand tighten it to where it's snug. Go ahead and do the other side as well. Now with all our connections made, we're going to want to turn our water back on, and that way we can check for any leaks. So I'd actually close your handles up here, and that way we can make sure that where we've tightened those down is not leaking. Once we know those are tight and good, we can go ahead and use our new faucet.